So sometimes, as I am watching one of my TV shows at night, at the very beginning, it might say something like on last week's episode, and like kind of go through all the things that happened on like all the previous shows, like all these little pieces. That's the way of the TV producers kind of catching everybody up. They're giving me the important things that have happened throughout the season. So say you don't use your DVR and you miss an episode, you can kind of follow along. I'm telling you this because TV shows do this, but as a reader, we should be doing that as well. That is just a retell. And readers retell to help them make sure that they're understanding what's going on in the story. I want to teach you that when you do a retell in your book, you're picking out the most important parts, and then you're able to see how all the pieces in your story fit together. Now, I want to tell you that a retell does not have to be super long, because we're going to leave out all those unimportant parts and only focus on the big things that have happened in our book. When we give a retell, maybe to our reading partner or to our parents or to me, we just need to know the big things that happened in the story. If you try to tell us every single little thing, it would take so long and you would use so many pages in your reader's notebook. Because you would be adding in all those little things that happened in the story. In a retell, I just want the most important parts. So, for an example, if I was going to do a retell of what we had read in Stone Fox up to this point, I could write that down on 2 Post-it notes with just the big things that have happened so far in our story. So this is what it might sound like if I was doing a retell of Stone Fox, of what we read so far. Little Willie and Searchlight can't wake up Grandpa. That happened like in the first chapter. Little Willie gets Doc Smith, and she says that he doesn't want to live anymore, and that he's really sick. Little Willie doesn't listen to Doc Smith and put Grandpa in like a nursing home, and he harvests the crops all by himself. But after the harvest, he learns from Clifford Snyder, the tax man, that Grandpa owes $500 in taxes. And Little Willie realizes that's really why Grandpa is sick. And so everyone that he asks, what should I do? We owe all this money. What can I do? They all tell him that you have to sell the farm. He can't use his college money. The bank's not going to give him any money to pay Clifford Snyder for the taxes. So Little Willie, in true Little Willie fashion, enters the dog sled race because the prize money is $500, and he knows if he can win that he could save the farm. So I left out all the unimportant information and only gave you the big things that have happened, and to show you how the story built on itself, how the new parts built on the old parts. Now, why don't you give it a try with your book?